So, lads, this is not a great look for the Indiana Fever organization. If you've got Caitlin Clark, the star of the Indiana Fever, she's going and seeing whatever about not seeing the Indiana Fever's doctors. Like, it is what it is with that. It is what it is. Like, I think a lot of players and teams get second opinions. But if you haven't seen here, Stephanie White says there's no update on Caitlin Clark or potential timeline. She met with another doctor, but White says she hasn't spoken with
The superstar who reignited basketball in Indiana has just made one of the boldest statements in WNBA history without uttering a word. Caitlin Clark, the face of women's basketball and a box office draw comparable to a Taylor Swift concert, has reportedly ceased all communication with the Indiana Fever's medical staff following her recent groin injury.
Pretty much kind of leaked out the bag to the team that she was kind of going to get a second opinion. To me, an athlete like Caitlin Clark on her level, she should have been getting these second opinions. She should have been hearing from all these other doctors, man. But Stephanie White spoke to the media yesterday. She really didn't give a whole lot, but she did say that Caitlin Clark was in New York meeting with other doctors. Now, with all of that being said, what does the timetable look like to me for Caitlin Clark coming back? I keep telling y'all, around the 17th to the 30th of August.
And honestly, it's long overdue that someone calls out this organization for treating a once-in-a-generation talent like a supporting cast member in someone else's narrative. Here's what's really unfolding behind the scenes at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and why Caitlin Clark might already be plotting her exit from Indiana sooner than anyone imagined.
She has met with a different doctor. And she won't even give an update to the team. Not, oh yeah, she's met with a different doctor and we're waiting on an update. She's waiting, or not even, well, that's basically it. They're waiting on, she's gone to a different doctor and they've heard nothing.
If you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe. When Caitlin Clark limped off the court on July 15th against the Connecticut Sun, clutching her right groin in visible frustration, it wasn't just another injury, it was a tipping point. According to sources, this marks the beginning of a Kawhi Leonard situation where a superstar loses all trust in their team's medical staff.
Caitlin Clark. Following a July 15th injury to her right groin, Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark underwent further medical evaluations earlier this week. The team can confirm that no additional injuries or damage were discovered through the evaluations. Clark will continue working with the Fever medical team on her recovery and rehabilitation, with the priority on her long-term health and well-being. There is no timetable available for Clark's return, and no additional details will be provided at this time. Any further updates will be shared as they become available.
Clark has now endured 4 separate muscle injuries this season: a left groin strain, a left quadriceps injury, and most recently, a right groin strain. For a player who never missed a game due to injury throughout her college career at Iowa or during her WNBA rookie season, this string of setbacks isn't just bad luck. It's a troubling pattern that points to serious medical mismanagement.
Internet noticed something specific that Holly Rowe had to say on the broadcast. Holly Rowe said that before the last return after a quad injury, she had no practice time, which, if that's actually true, like if she wasn't practicing, if she wasn't going full speed, then why was she returning to the court? And that's actually something that I pointed out. I believe it was Scott Agnes reported that Caitlin had gone full speed in practice, but there was only one practice that she had gone full speed, and then she returned to.
The breaking point came when Clark was rushed back from a previous groin injury, only to re-aggravate it just a few games later. According to sources close to the situation, Clark told team officials, "I'm getting my own doctors. I'm not using our doctors." Since then, she's consulted with outside physicians and has reportedly cut off communication with the Fever's training staff, refusing to provide any updates on her condition.
Clark's team has made it known, we are going to be holding her out until she is fully recovered. We are not going to be rushing her back at all. After taking Indiana Fever's advice, eventually Caitlin Clark needs to take matters into her own hands, make decisions for herself, and I believe that's what we are seeing with the team that she now has surrounded.
Let's lay out the facts. The Indiana Fever would rather keep quiet, because Caitlin Clark's injury timeline reads like a case study in medical mismanagement. May 3rd, Clark sits out the preseason opener with left leg soreness. May 26th, she misses the first regular season game of her career due to a left quadriceps strain. June, she's sidelined for 5 games with a left groin injury. July 15th, Clark suffers a right groin injury late in the game against the Connecticut Sun. July 24th, the Fever announced there's no timetable for a return and offer no further details. That's 11 regular season games missed, plus the Commissioner's Cup final. For context, that's nearly half the WNBA season lost to a string of soft tissue injuries that, with proper conditioning and medical oversight, are often preventable.
Speculating that Caitlin Clark injury could be much worse than expected. You know, these type of injuries and the way she's been getting these injuries is not normal. To have these strains back to back to back like this, and I said this before, Caitlin Clark's mobility is off, bro. I believe she might have came back too fast from the first. We all know the first one went down around the 25th of May. Then she came back and got re-injured around the 4th of July to the 5th, somewhere up in there of July, and then that brings us until now.
But here's where it gets really telling. Clark sought second opinions in New York without informing the Fever's medical staff about the results. Coach Stephanie White admitted she hadn't talked to the trainers about what Clark's outside doctors discovered. When your star player is essentially going rogue on medical decisions, that's not just about an injury. That's about trust being completely shattered. When the Fever hired Stephanie White, fans thought they were getting an upgrade over Christy Sides. White came with credentials: 2023 WNBA Coach of the Year, a championship ring with the Fever as a player, someone who understood winning. What they got instead was a coach who seems determined to fix something that isn't broken.
Good news about today is Caitlin Clark is no longer dealing with Stephanie White and these coaches and this Indiana Fever medical staff, trainers, doctors, none of that. She's seeing her own medical doctors, her own team. That's the only good news of today. She has abandoned the Indiana Fever medical staff, and I'm happy about it. I'm happy about it. She's pulling a Kawhi Leonard, what he did with the San Antonio Spurs, letting it be known, hey, look, I'll get back to y'all when I'm ready. I'm going with my own medical staff. Y'all can beat it, kick rocks, and I stand with you, Caitlin.
Here's the uncomfortable truth no one wants to say out loud. Christy Sides knew how to use Caitlin Clark. Say what you will about Sides' shortcomings as a head coach, but she understood one crucial principle: when you have a generational talent, you build around them. You don't force them into your system. Sides let Clark be Clark. She gave her the ball, let her control the tempo, and watch the magic unfold. The results? A rookie season that shattered WNBA records, a playoff berth for the first time since 2016, and sold-out arenas in every city they visited. Now contrast that with interim coach Gary White's recent remarks about wanting Clark to play off the ball and share primary ball-handling duties. That's not just a tactical misstep. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of what makes Clark special. You don't take the ball out of Magic Johnson's hands because he's getting pressured. You don't bench Michael Jordan because he's being double-teamed. And you definitely don't turn Caitlin Clark into a role player just because your system can't accommodate greatness.